Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, the UNDP gives Dominica's post-Maria cleanup efforts a thumbs up. A Portsmouth fisherman missing for some time turns up dead, and the World Bank to approve $100 million in aid for Dominica. The details of the news coming up.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You will expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
And first up in the news, the country recorded its 3rd homicide in Good Hope over the weekend after the death of Engelbert Laurent. Laurent was reportedly attacked at the time of his death. The incident follows the killing of Lord Chian Casimir of Salisbury last weekend. In other police news now, a Portsmouth fisherman was found dead on Sunday night after reported missing for some time. The body of Casey Andrew was found afloat off the island's coast. He reportedly went missing during a period of sea swells affecting the island. In other news now, a UNDP resident representative for the OECS, Stephen O'Malley, has given a thumbs up to post-Hurricane Maria cleanup efforts in Dominica. But he says there's still a lot more work to be done. Idona John Baptist reports.
The United Nations Development Programme's interventions since Hurricane Maria range from helping to revise a guide on housing standards to spearheading a building damage assessment, and most recently partnering with the government of China to implement a roofing project for vulnerable residents. O'Malley told Channel 5 News that some aspects of the recovery process have been outstanding.
You know, I think that there are a number of things that are quite remarkable about what has happened so far. There are certain things that I think have gone quite well. I would look at the cleaning up of Rosso. You know, I was here a week after the hurricane hit. I remember what it was like the first time I drove through Pottersville, you know, which it's a community I would have driven through 15 or 20 times. And I mean, that was really, really amazing, heartbreaking to see how much. So when you look at how far things have been cleaned up, I think that's a real positive. I think the work that people have done to try and rebuild their own communities is also positive. You can see where people have really done things together.
Commenting on the post-disaster response, O'Malley says the UNDP's conclusion is that the pace at addressing particular matters needs to step up.
It always takes longer to rebuild than people anticipate it will. And that's the thing that I think all of us are trying to push harder on. How do we speed up the pace of getting, you know, putting a roof on somebody's house is a very important thing. You know, you then feel safe and secure in your own home. So that is, I mean, I think for all of us, something we want to push very hard on. So there are things that I think have worked well. And then there are things where I think we just want to push harder and harder to get it done. And that I think is shared by individuals and communities, by village councils, by the cabinet, by the UN. I think all of us have that same feeling of doing more.
He pointed out that the UNDP's involvement is intended to be immediate so the country can feel the impact without delay.
Our own reflections is we feel that there is still a lot more to do. And, you know, if you look at the next few years, that's what you're going to see is those kind of programs, those longer-term reconstruction programs kicking in. So whether it's the rebuilding of the East Coast Road, the further development of the geothermal, the repairs on the West Coast Road. I mean, there is a work on the agricultural sector, for example, through the World Bank. You know, you will see a lot of programs, but it takes time to put them in place and for people to feel the impact. And so we're definitely trying to do things now where people feel the impact and feel a change.
The UNDP has not conducted a formal evaluation of the country's recovery process. Idona John-Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In more news now, the World Bank expected to approve $100 million in aid to Dominica later this year. The money will support recovery efforts in the agriculture, housing and infrastructure sectors. The World Bank is also working with Dominica's Geothermal Development Company to prepare a geothermal risk mitigation project. That project will support the development of a 7-megawatt geothermal power plant. The plant is expected to help reduce the cost of electricity and provide a cleaner energy mix.
The strong collaboration and coordination of Dominica's Ministry of Finance, led by F.S. Edwards, and the Prime Minister's Senior Economic Advisor, Professor Avinash, with the bank has facilitated a fast-track preparation of 3 emergency operations amounting to close to US $100 million of concessionary funds, of which $50 million will be grant funds.
The World Bank reiterated its support for Dominica's bid to become a climate-resilient nation at the launching of CREED on Friday. The World Bank believes CREED is a step in the right direction.
Given the need for speedy recovery, the bank supports the establishment of CREED. We believe that a more focused organization such as CREED will be helpful to bring improved efficiency and financial transparency to project implementation. We hope that it will also embed essential climate resilience features, especially for large infrastructure projects.
Following Hurricane Maria, the World Bank teamed up with the United Nations, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Caribbean Development Bank, and the European Union to conduct a post-disaster assessment or needs assessment. The results were presented at the CARICOM UN High-Level Pledging Conference in New York in November. The World Bank has also provided $10 million for the Agricultural Emergency Response Program, providing immediate financial support to farmers and fishermen. You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the Ministry of Health concerned about the health dangers posed by generators.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners, Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
The National Bank of Dominica launched a 10-month giveaway promotion on Monday as part of the launch of its 40th anniversary celebrations this week. The NBD is celebrating its 40th anniversary as a leading commercial bank here. The anniversary was officially launched Monday afternoon under the theme A Legacy of Service, a Pursuit of Excellence.
We will have a grand giveaway promotion for the next 10 months. And it's called 40 Years, 40 Wins. And we will be rewarding 40 lucky customers for doing business with NBD. So every customer who signs up for NBD's product, they will qualify to win great prizes. So you will see one of these drums, which is now being uncovered. You will see one of these drums in every NBD branch, and our customer raffle entries will be inserted into the drum for drawing at the end of every month. Every month, four lucky customers will win gifts and prizes. Some of the gifts include flat screen TV, dinner and night at Sunset Bay Club, and also our grand prize is a trip for two to St. Lucia with $1,000 cash on the Express Desir.
Activities include a Thanksgiving service on Tuesday at the Fatima Catholic Church at 4 in the afternoon. Executive and senior managers will be on the front line serving customers on Tuesday morning. On Wednesday, Community Day, staff will execute 10 community projects across the island. Customer appreciation events are scheduled for Thursday and Friday. And the Environmental Health Department is collaborating with the Independent Regulatory Commission to develop a policy on the use of generators. Andrea Louis reports.
The slow restoration of electricity to the island, coupled with people's desire to have some form of electricity, has paved the way for an influx of generators to Dominica. Senior Environmental Health Officer Sylvester Senville explained that the department is working with the IRC to bring greater awareness to the public on how to correctly use generators.
We've developed a strategy moving forward. One of them is the registration of the generators, while the IRC is only mandated to regulate generators above 20,000 watts or 20 kVAs as they call them. They are not mandated, or if you are selling electricity to the grid, selling back electricity to the national grid, they are not mandated to regulate generators below that generation capacity. We need to probably improve the registration of generators because we know what capacity we have, we know where they are located, because they themselves, the IRC is also responsible for electrical safety. And so they have that responsibility, and in collaboration with them we are mounting this public awareness program. Probably look to see how we can better regulate if there's another event.
Sandville pointed out that this new situation arose due to the hurricane, and steps must be taken to guide people on the safe use of generators, especially where their health is concerned.
It's not something we were anticipating, but it's something that emerged after the hurricane, and it's something that we need to look into. Development of statutory rules for use of generators because of the dangers that they pose to public health and safety. We need to set up, we need to develop rules, specific rules to regulate the generator use. We need to also look at importation of particular generators. We have to be very careful what type of generators that we import, and some generators can make a serious amount of noise. And if generators are not regulated in the country of origin, then that means we will get generators that are not regulated.
The Senior Environmental Health Officer says there is also an environmental issue with the waste oils from generator use.
We also have an issue with generators as it relates to the use of oils, waste oils. This is, much of that oil is going down into our drains and our environment and disposed anywhere, and that is another issue that we are concerned about. You say a vehicle probably use more oil, but every 3 months or 4 months you change your engine oil. But every week you change your generator's oil. So that means it accumulates, and most of them use about a quart of oil or a little more. And then that oil accumulates. So in a month we have 4 quarts, so that's as much as a vehicle. So we have quite an influx of generators in the country right now.
In more news now, fisherfolk in Soufrière and Scott said are expecting further assistance from government on how to revive their main source of income in that community.
The communities, well known for their fishing trade, have still not been able to fully recover 6 months after Hurricane Maria. Facing severe destruction to their tools and structures, a community leader says fishermen are desperate to return to their livelihoods.
Marine life is the food basket. 75% of the economical, movements in this community is being derived from fishing. And hence, that has been interrupted since Maria. That is a major concern right now for us in the community. How do we get the fishermen back on the water? How do we get them, with their boats? If it has to be that we rebuild their boats or get them new boats, fix their boats, how do we do that?
Charles has recognized that the government has responded to the plight of fisher folks with a plan that can get them back up on their feet.
And we're hoping that that plan can be executed as quickly as possible so that our fishermen livelihood can be restored. Prior to Maria, the government had already had a plan in place where boats were being built to assist fishermen who need boats. And so those boats, some of them were damaged, not all of them, after Maria. And so right now work is being done on them, to get them, fixed and so that they can be used for fishing purposes. So that is what's going on now. We're hoping that that can be done quickly. Some of the fishermen, they had to submit, you would know that some of them had to submit their claims, their damage claim, to the government, and the government will seek to mitigate their damage claim coming from, what has happened to them following Maria. So it is a process that will take time, Idona. It will take a lot of patience.
Charles says Hurricane Maria has created an opportunity for the communities to be redeveloped with better strategies.
Let's look at the outline. You have now a blank page. When a page is written on it already, you can write on it again. But if it's blank, you can rewrite. So now we can rewrite. We can rewrite the policies, we can rewrite the rules, and we can rewrite the structure, the components. Where do we have for recreation? Where do we have for yacht moorings? Where are we going to locate our fisher folks, our fishermen, the fishing equipment units? So here's the opportunity of creating a mecca for tourism. That is the vision of the PALWEP. And so at this point, there's a group that was born just before Maria, and that group will be responsible for coming up with an overall design and projects for the economic development of the Sophia Scotted Gallia community.
And one pageant organizer here believes a simplified version of the Miss Dominica pageant could be held to crown a new queen this year.
Artistic director of Waitukubuli Dance Theatre Company, which hosts the Miss Teen Dominica pageant, explained that due to the impact of Maria, a scaled-down version of the National Queen Show could be staged in order to display some level of continuity. Raymond Lawrence says the format could follow that of international pageants in order to make a Queen Show feasible for 2018.
Personally, I really think we should have a Miss Dominica pageant for 2018. As I said, the show could be simplified. I think it could even come down to talent, swimsuit, and evening wear. That's what, and question and answer. That's what I think. We could base it on some of the international shows like the Miss Universe, Miss World, and so, which have simple formats like talent, swimsuit, evening wear, and the question and answer. And I think we could use that structure just for this year. Because remember, we're just talking just for this year. And then next year, God willing, when things are a little more normal, God willing, then you go back to your usual.
Lawrence is of the view that if a Miss Dominica pageant is held in April, it will give the new queen enough time to prepare for the regional pageants.
My suggestion, as I mentioned earlier, we could have a Miss Dominica, a simplified version of the show. And then whoever wins, then you prepare that particular girl to represent Dominica. So for instance, if the show was being held in April or May, then that gives her at least about 2 months, I think, or gives the organizers 2 months to prepare, which I think is ample time to prepare the one contestant for the regional pageant. But as it stands now, if there's no Miss Dominica, I'm not sure how Dominica will be represented at the pageants overseas, but then the organizers of the Queen Show should be able to respond to something like that.
To date, no official word has been given to the media on whether or not a Miss Dominica pageant will be hosted this year. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And that's the news. Kenny Williams is next with your sports highlights.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
First up in sports, West Indies got their 4th win in 4 matches played when they defeated Netherlands in a 45-run Duckworth-Lewis victory in the ICC World Cup qualifiers on Monday. Batting first, West Indies scored 309 for the loss of 6 wickets in 48 overs. Evan Lewis came in with a well-deserved 84, while Malan Samuel supported with an undefeated 73. Rovman Powell scored 52 and Chris Gale 46. In reply, Netherlands was restricted to 167 for the loss of 6 wickets in 28.4 overs when the rain came. With this win, West Indies has now qualified for the semi-finals carded for Thursday. Meantime, West Indies defeated Ireland by 52 runs on Saturday. Batting first, the winning team finished on 257 for 8 in their 50 overs. Rovman Powell was the most instrumental with the bat to score 101, which included 7 fours and 7 sixes. Jason Holder also supported with 54 from 101 balls. Tim Murtagh showed some fighting spirit for Ireland when he took 4 wickets for 41 runs. Set 257 to win, Ireland was dismissed for 205 in 46.2 overs. The highest contributor with the bat was Ed Joyce's 63. Kemar Roach and Kesrick Williams combined proved to be a lethal force for the West Indies when they took a total of 8 wickets. Roach bagged 4 for 27, while Williams took 4 for 43. Still with cricket, we can tell you that England Lions went on to beat West Indies A by 7 wickets in the 3rd one-day international on Sunday. Roston Chase scored 67 and Jamar Hamilton 29. Matt Parkinson dismantled the Windies batting lineup when he snatched 4 wickets for 26 runs. Set 167 to win, Lions finished on 171 for the loss of 3 wickets in 31.1 overs. Sam Haynes scored an unbeaten 54, while Alex Davies came in with 48. Rakeem Cornwall picked up 2 for 26. Despite Lions' win on Sunday, West Indies won the series 2-1. Moving on to football, where the Tarish and the Promex Harlem United football clubs had convincing wins to close off the preliminary round of the DFA Flow Nations Cup on Sunday. ACS Tarish Football Club dominated their game against Golly Football Club 5-0. Jemiah Timothy scored 1 in each half to contribute 2 goals. Jovan Henry, Delroy Parker, and Jovan Abraham contributed 1 each to complete the onslaught. However, Golly Football Club walked off the field with 15 minutes left in the game. In the other match, Promex Harlem United finished 4 goals ahead to defeat Police Sports Club 5-1. Eustace Marshall scored a brace, while Christopher Gervais, Kieran Maglaw, and Kersley Kernizan added 1 each. Kenny Thomas scored the lone goal for Police. 8 clubs will move on to the playoffs of the competition following the end of the preliminary round on Sunday. The teams are ACS Tarish United, Sagicor Southeast, Promex Harlem United, Exodus Football Club, We United, Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers, Petro Caribe Point Michel, and Belfast Estate, Mao Soka Strikers. Meanwhile, DFA President Glenn Etienne says the association plans to make the Nations Cup an annual event. Etienne noted the league has brought much needed interest back to the sport since Hurricane Maria.
During Maria, our Premier League had just started. We had 4 weekends in the game, and then we had to suspend the league, and everybody was asking when are we going to start, and I think that is a perfect example of what we did, bringing the Nation League, and I think it's a league we're going to continue at the DFA in the sense that if you notice all the teams are engaged. It's the Premier and the Division 1 teams combined together forms the Nation League. So I think it's a wonderful league, and it's going on, like you said, with a lot of injuries. Tarish scoring some 18 goals in the last game. So we hopefully by the next weekend we'll be into the playoffs of the Nation League, and then we go to the semis and then to the final.
In weekend cricket, Marino Blasters defeated Nagico Northern Stars by 107 runs in the DCA 50 overs-a-side league on Sunday. Sent into bat, Marino scored 249 for the loss of 7 wickets in 47 overs. Krzyzewski John Lewis added a solid 74 for his team, with 33 from Anderson Burton and Kyle Cabey 30. Vincent Luis bagged 3 wickets for 43 runs and Leon Saint-Jean 1 for 40. In reply, Stars was bowled out for 143 in 23.4 overs. Kevin James added 60, John Fabian 28, and Sherlon George 27. Kyle Cabey picked up 3 for 10, Krzyzewski John Lewis 2 for 20, and Anderson Burton 2 for 33. The game between Dublin United Stars and Grand Bay Credit Union Colts did not take place due to the unavailability of umpires. Meantime, St. Paul's Cricket Academy defeated Tremors and Point Michel Cricket Academy combined by 7 wickets. Batting first, Tremors were bowled out for 74 runs. Marshall Gregoire scored 34 and Terrell Toussaint 30. Kamal Hamilton picked up a whopping 9 wickets for 18 runs. Set 75 to win, St. Paul's scored 77 for 3. Kazimi Benjamin chipped in with 29. And in track and field, Dominica Grammar School's Trinice Hamilton is confident that her achievement at the Secondary Schools Athletics Championships will be the impetus for the Character Games later this year. Hamilton finished the school's competition with 2 records: the Under-17 girls discus 32.72 meters and shot put in the same category 13.20.
It feels good because I know that my trainers that win, that is my 2 favorite categories to throw in discus and shot put. It feels good knowing that I can throw to that extent to where I know that someone who went to character before me and who was always my model, I know that I can throw higher than her now in years to come, and now as I'm 14 years of age. Being 14 and throwing that far is like a big accomplishment. The main purpose of the character standards being there is to know that if you throw higher or around that area, you at least can be in the top for you to medal in the character game. And medaling in the character game is a big deal.
The 2018 Character Games are scheduled for Bahamas between March 30 and April 2. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
To end the news, the headlines again. The UNDP gives Dominica's post-Maria cleanup efforts a thumbs up. A Portsmouth fisherman missing for some time turns up dead. And the World Bank to approve over $100 million in aid to Dominica. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.